So in today's video, we're going to look at preparing for the upcoming MOT. Cars in the UK are required to have an MOT by law to make sure that they're roadworthy, but there's similar checks across Europe. I've written a few down, I'm going to try and say them. In Italian, it's the Revisione. In Germany, the Hauptuntersuchung. Poland, the Przeglad. Greece, I think it's the Kedro Technico Elenchochimaton. I'm sure that was absolutely terrible, but I'll carry on. In France, it's the Control Technique. Spain, we have the Inspección Técnica de Vehículos. And in America, I think it's a free-for-all, but maybe someone from America can correct me on that. So I've printed off a few checks that we need to run through, just off a few websites relevant to the MOT. Obviously, it's relevant to the UK market as well, but like I say, I think those European ones are going to be a similar type of check. So the first things that we can check really easily is going to be the lights. So we'll just start the engine, turn all the lights on. We need to make sure all the hazard lights, reverse lights, brake lights, number plate lights, everything, basically every bulb is working that it needs to, front to back, the side indicators, the front's fogs, a lot. So with the engine just started, we've just got the daylight running lights on and the hazard lights on, so we can see that they're working now. Just got our hazard lights on at the moment because we don't actually have the lights turned on. So let's turn the lights on. So with the lights turned on, we can see that we've got this strip of brake lights working or rear lights working. On the other side, exactly the same. That's all good all the way across. And then with the engine on at the front, you can see that the main headlights are on. No fog lights yet, they're not turned on, so that's good. Full beam. Fog lights. Front and back. Number plate lights to the rear. They're both fine. And now the brakes. And on this side, that's great. And then obviously on the Giulietta, we have the roof light as well. And off the brake lights without the lights on. And off. Perfect. Right indicator in the middle. It is working. And at the front, it's great. Left hand indicator. And then reverse. That's great. Another element in the UK is for the reflectors to be visible and clean. So they're both fine now. And then one of the last elements for the headlights would be to make sure that they align properly so that they light up the road in the correct place, basically. But I don't have the markings, I'm not sure where they need to be. As far as I know, they're all good. So it's just one of the things to bear in mind. If your headlights are pointing way up, then they're probably not going to pass the MOT. Quick and easy one, the horn. That's fine. The next on the tick list is the battery. To quote the list I have, it says the battery must be secure and not show any signs of leaking electrolytes. Well, we know it's secure, it's not leaking, it's a brand new battery that we'll have seen from a previous video. So again, happy with that. The next thing on the list is electrical wiring. It says wiring should be secure and must not be damaged to the point where it is likely to short circuit or become detached. So basically I'm just going to run around, have a quick check, make sure that nothing's fallen off of it. The wiring where it's exposed, maybe some of the ABS sensors, that kind of thing, are all in good condition. But we'll be looking at the wheels shortly. Next on the list is steering. Steering wheel's going to be moved from side to side. When we're underneath the car, we'll be able to check it for wear, should we say, listening for knocks or anything like that on some of the joints. But for now, I'm not underneath the car, so I'm just going to move it gently from side to side, just checking on the wheel. Feeling at the same time, doesn't feel like there's any knocks, it feels in really good condition. I can't feel anything, any knocking or anything like that, so I'm pretty confident that should be good. But we'll have a look under the car maybe when we get up in a minute. Another thing on the outside of the car we need to check is suspension. So we just need to run around and make sure that they're not cracked or there's no leaks coming from out of them or anything like that, making sure that they're secure, making sure there's no excessive play. We'll give it a little bounce test as well, just to make sure that it's it's not moving too far. And obviously springs, we can check the springs as well. With the bounce test, all we need to simply do is just put some weight on top of the car, push it down a little bit, and it should come back. It shouldn't really move too far. But yeah, just a little simple bounce test, each of the corners, just to make sure that there's no excessive play. They're not bubbling around too much or anything like that. So pretty happy with this. Like I say, it's all looking good. So looking at the rear springs, other than being a bit dirty, they're not in too bad condition. There's a little bit of paint just coming off this one now, but there's no cracks, they're complete. There's no fractures or anything like that in them. This one looks good. The one on the other side as well over there, I'll have a quick check of that. But for now, yeah, they look good as well. So as much as you don't need to take a wheel off for the MOT, I thought it would be easier just to take one off so that I could show you more of the elements a bit easier. So with the wheel removed, we can actually see a whole lot more inside here. Looking at the suspension strut, we can obviously see right up there, see the top mounts. Looking at this strut, it looks like it's damaged. It looks like it's actually bent in, but it's not. It's the design of the strut. It's so that we've got the extra space within the wheel arch. Again, we can see a bit more of the spring this side now. You can see where I've given it a wipe previously. Just some of the dirt's come off there. We can see some of the rubber mounts there as well. They look in good condition, so I'm pretty happy with that. From this angle, we can really easily see the upper trailing arm as well. We can see the bushing there. Looks in pretty good condition, to be fair. It doesn't look too bad for a car of this age. We might get around to changing them one day, potentially on another video, but for now that looks okay. A bit further down, the lower trailing arm, looking at the bushing on there, I'm not really sure if you can see it. It looks like it's a little bit worn maybe, some crack into the rubber, but its integrity is still there. It doesn't seem to have split, so we'll see what we get on the MOT on that one. Maybe an advisory, but we'll check that out. One of the key things obviously is brakes. I'm not going to be able to do a brake test because I don't have a rolling road or that facility. We did change the brake fluid in a recent video though, and went out for a brake test. Was very impressed with the way that the vehicle stopped. Looking a bit closer, we can see there's plenty of meat on the pads on this one. The disc, it's not too bad. It's a little bit pitted, but it's actually in relatively good condition. Again, we'll look at another video where we change the pads and change the disc out. General wear and condition under here is actually not too bad, to be fair. There's a lot of dirt, like I say, but that should come off, clean up relatively easily. The cabling, like I said, wiring, again, that's in relatively good condition. Just where it comes along, some of the ABS sensing, the brake wear indicators. Again, that's another indicator. The indicator is a good indicator of the fact that my brake pads are okay, because I've not got any warning messages on the dashboard about the brake pads. Underneath the car on this same wheel, we can see our drop links. Again on here, not too bad, pretty good condition given the age. I've certainly never changed them. There's no splits or anything in those bushings of the rubbers on there. So as much as this one looks like it's a little bit malformed, I think it's possibly because the suspension's all the way down at the moment. Up here, I think maybe in the intro video which said about this anti-roll bar bush, it's really quite evident with the wheel off, with lots of light getting to it. You can see it's kind of corroded quite somewhat, so we will definitely be changing them. We're going to put it through the MOT with them like it is and see if we get an advisory perhaps, but we'll be doing a video to show us upgrading them and refurbishing the anti-roll bar as well. From this angle we can just about see the bushes on the rear trailing arms, the upper arm here and the lower arm here. Again, these bushes look about the same sort of condition as they do at the wheel end behind me where I am here. So again, I think they're okay, in good enough condition. I'm not sure how much an MOT inspector will be able to see underneath the car with the wheels on, maybe where it's a little bit darker. We're outside, we've got the luxury of light, but yeah, for now happy with them. Again, we'll put it through the test and see what they come up with on that. While we're here as well, it's a good opportunity to look at the exhaust. The exhaust needs to be in good condition as well, not falling off. All the bushes, again the rubbers holding it in place need to be acceptable, can't be split or anything like that. Coming along, I've just noticed this hole in the back box. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know whether it looks like a factory hole, but maybe someone can let me know in the comments down below, please. But yeah, following the exhaust along, all the clamps. There doesn't appear to be any leaks or anything anywhere. There's no evidence of soot or smoke or anything. And then all the way down the car, at the far end, maybe we'll have a look closer at that end, but from here it certainly looks okay. So I'll just whiz around to the other side, check on that as well, check everything's exactly the same, check I can't see any bushes split or anything, and then I'll go up to the front and we'll have a look at one of those wheels. Before I put this tyre back on, actually, before I put the wheel back on, I thought it'd be a good opportunity just to have a look at this. I said before in one of the other videos about the cracking on this wheel, on this tyre. I've actually got the car booked in just before the MOT to have 2 new rears put on it. This one, you can tell actually by these markings here, it's actually early 2015, so it's about just over 6 years old actually. So I'm not surprised that it's kind of worn and cracked like this. As much as it's still legal, which we can tell from the minimum tread wear markers that we've got here, it's still perfectly legal in terms of depth wise. I'm not happy with it running it like that, and it's on the inside as well, so I think safety first. I'm more than happy to shell out a few pounds just to make sure that that's as safe as it can be. Obviously the MOT centre will be looking for any bulges or anything like that, any splits, any problems, any cracks in the wheel itself, any problems with it, but other than the actual fact that it's perishing, it's pretty old now. The tyre's actually not in too bad condition. A few stones, a few sharp stones here and there, to be expected. It's got a big one there, but I'm not too fussed. Like I say, I'm going to be getting a new one anyway. So we'll just check all 4 wheels, just as we are running around, make sure that they're okay. If you have one, the MOT centre should be checking your spare tyre as well. Again, just the same checks, making sure it's got no bulges, making sure it's got the minimum tread depth as well. So now we're at the front of the car, a little bit more to check here. Obviously we've got the general condition of the discs as well, make sure that we're happy with them. If you can get behind and have a look just to see the faces there are good. Pads as well, make sure your pads are okay. Again, with our Giulietta, we've got the pad wear indicator on there, so we've got no warnings on the dashboard, so we're happy that the pads are okay. Again, the wiring looks okay here. There's no loose cabling, it's not about to foul anything or fall off. The ABS sensor cable there, it's nicely in its housing or in its locator, so that's fine, nothing's falling off, we're all in a good state, shall we say. Suspension, again, a little bit of cracked paint maybe there or something again, as we saw with the rears. Obviously we're looking about 10 years age on this car now. Up there we can see the top mounts, again looking okay condition. Underneath the bonnet they look fine as well. The gator, obviously it's just sitting up there to protect that strut. It's not an issue, it just sits in the seat there as such, it's not connected to it, it's just needs to be installed properly. And obviously because the car is up in the air quite a way, it's stretched out to its kind of maximum, so that's why we can see there like that. There's a little bit more to check at the front. We've got the drive shaft gaiters that we just need to check and make sure we're happy with. There's no leaks, no oil coming out of them, no grease coming out of them rather. This one looks in pretty good condition. We want to make sure there's no splits in there, there's no fluids or anything coming out of them, making sure that the CV joint inside is nicely lubricated. From that one, if I can move the camera appropriately, there we go, we can just about see the other one inside there. So again, we've not got any issues with leaks, there's no grease coming out, there's no splits in it or anything. The tyres are on there quite well. We've actually got to do one of the CV boots on another car later on this weekend, so maybe I'll film that one and just put that on so we can all have a look how to do that. From the steering, if we had any bumps or knocking or anything like that, it could have been coming from here. We need to make sure that this is fine, this is okay. Coming through, we've got obviously the steering gaiter. Again, just like the drive shaft covers, we need to make sure that these are in good condition. There's no leaks or splits or anything. The plastic is all intact, nothing's coming away. It all looks and feels pretty good on this one, so I'm happy with that. In terms of bushes, checking the bushes on this one, from our control arm, we've got the bush right in there. Hopefully I can get the camera in there, we can just see that. Looks all in good condition in there. Again, like I say, in an MOT shop, I'm not sure how much they'll inspect that, but it's good to have a check anyway at this point in time while we've got the car up, so we know for ourselves. Drop links, again, relatively good condition. If I stop moving the camera around, there we go. The top as well, if I can get the camera in there, no splits or anything like that. So again, a little bit dirty on there, but we might look at replacing them in the future. Maybe another video to come along as well. Our ball joints right underneath at the bottom. Again, just checking the rubbers here, making sure we've not got any leaks, making sure there's no splits or anything like that. It's all in generally good condition. It's a good opportunity to check the other side of the CV boot there as well on the drive shaft. And then obviously just at the other end of the control arm, I might need to turn the camera around. We can see I've got the bushes just in here. If I can get my arm in there, bushes just in here that we need to check as well, so I'll have a look at them. Some of the last bushes that we need to check are the anti-roll bar bushes, so we can just about see in there that one. It's about the same condition as the rear, to be fair. It's kind of a little bit cracked around just the middle, but there's no evident splits all the way through or anything. So again, we're going to put it through the MOT like that, see how it goes. Inside the car, we need to check the seat belts. If the car's got a seatbelt, we need to make sure that every single one of them is operational. So we can do that just by taking the seatbelt, plugging it in, making sure the clasp is secure, it works well, and it's not going to fall out. We need to check the condition of the belt itself, make sure it's not frayed, any problems with it, split, pull the entire seatbelt all the way out as far as it will go, and make sure that the entire length of the seatbelt is in good condition. Obviously we need to be able to make sure that it's going to restrain someone as well, so you can do that just by grabbing it and giving it a quick tug as though the car's been in an accident. When it comes to the driver's seatbelt, that's the one that's going to get the most wear. So give it a real good look, give it a real good inspection, make sure that all the fixings, everything, all the way down from where it fixes into the body, all the way along the entire length of it, make sure it's secure, make sure everything is okay in the clasp, make sure there's no frays, just as with the others. Put it all the way out, right to the very end of it, as with all the others. Just make sure it's all in good condition, both sides. Again, give it a tug, make sure it's okay, and just do that for every single one of them, passengers, back, drivers, and make sure they're all okay. In the Giuliettas with the seat belts, when the engine's running, you get these indicators. Obviously red means that it's not as it should be, or it's not safe. The seats have got pressure sensors in, so at the minute I'm sat in the left hand seat, or the passenger seat in the UK. If I get out of it, I'll lift my weight up, you can see it goes green, which indicates that it's okay. If I put my weight back on it, there we go, it goes red again. So it knows when someone's in there. Obviously that's where it will give you the put your seatbelt warning beep on. With the driver's side, we can test that again just by getting in, plugging the seatbelt on. If it goes green, it's fine, it's okay. If I unplug it, there we go, it goes red, so that's when we'd get the audible notification. With the back seat belts in this Giulietta, there is no presence indicator for someone sat in it, so that's why they're red all the time. As soon as you plug the seatbelt in, it goes green. I think when the driver's seatbelt is plugged in, after a little while, there we go, they stop flashing on their own. They do have a sensor on them, so as soon as they're unplugged, you do get a notification. I'm not sure that would affect the MOT though, just as long as the seatbelts are secure. Another really easy thing to check for is general body wear. So on the MOT, they'll check the entire car, just make sure that there's no body panels falling off of it, nothing is about to come off and go flying off. Obviously they'll also make sure that all the doors open and close as well. I don't know if they do it from the inside for the door handles, but they want to make sure that the car is in generally good condition and nothing's about to fall off. Obviously if you were in an accident and you needed to get out the car, the door needs to be functioning properly as well, and the handles on the inside should be capable of letting you out. Obviously there's nothing falling off it, the roof is good, there's no dinks or knocks, we're in a good condition, so I'm happy with that. Another check is number plates. The car must be showing legal number plates, both on the front and the rear, the correct spacing, the correct font and everything like that. So if you've got funky number plates, you might need to replace them. Another thing that I like to check as well is the VIN plate. So on this Giulietta, there's a little inspection hatch there. Just slide that to the side and that's where you can find that. You'll also find another element of it just inside the window over there. Just this element here. That should match obviously the number on the floor that we looked at just a second ago. A common failure, believe it or not, is with faulty window wipers. So I know we did a video a short while ago about replacing the window wipers, but your window wipers can't be split. They need to be in good condition. They can't have bits flaking off them, falling off of them. The arms need to be in good condition, obviously, and the blades, if it's got them fitted, front and rear as well. Obviously also screen wash. The screen wash needs to make sure that it cleans the screen appropriately, both front and back. So I'll just check that out in a second too. One of the final checks that we need to look at is the windscreen, condition of the windscreen. To quote the passage from one of the websites, it says, in the area of the windscreen directly in front of the driver, there must not be any damage or obstruction larger than 10 millimeters. Outside of this area, but within the swept area, there must not be any damage or other obstruction larger than 40 millimeters. So I've just noticed that we've actually got, if I can see it on camera there, there's a small chip there which is obviously in front of the driver, but it's really small, it's tiny. But it's not going to be an issue as long as it doesn't grow or get any bigger. And then across on the other side, where we would be allowed up to 40 millimeters, we've actually got another chip just here. Again, really quite small. That one actually looks like it's got potential to grow, but maybe we'll look at getting that repaired. But for now, that windscreen's actually in okay condition. One last check that we're not going to be able to do today is emissions. The MOT test centre will take what's quoted as a gas analyzer probe while the engine is running. Stick it up the exhaust pipe basically, leave it there for however long it takes. I'm not quite sure what that period of time is, a few minutes. And then they'll take the readings and make sure that they're legal and acceptable. Obviously if they're good, fantastic, you'll pass that element. If they're not, then you'll need to look at identifying why. Now we're back in the car. One of the final checks is the mirrors. In the UK, I think you have to have 2 mirrors legally. So we've got our rear view mirror, our one passenger side mirror, and then we have our driver's door mirror as well. They need to be in good condition, not falling off. I know sometimes with the Alphas there's a problem with the driver's one where it vibrates. Apparently there's a fix for that, which is to do with the engine mount, or top engine mount. So maybe we'll look at that in another video. But the mirrors need to be clean, in good condition, and you need to be able to obviously see out of them. While we're in the car at the same time, we're pretty confident that they're going to work from the other day as well. But we'll just give the squirts a quick wash. That's fine. And obviously while we're looking at the mirrors as well, we can do the rear wash wipe. There we go. Just took a little while for that to come through that, but we're happy that that's working too. So according to my list of checks, other than vehicles with the tow bar, which I've not got a tow bar, but I'll just read that out. Any electrical socket must be in good condition and correctly operate the trailer parking lights, brake lights, indicators and rear fog lights. Obviously we've not got that, so I've not had to check that today. But other than that, that's all the checks. So that's it for this video. Obviously that's been relevant to the UK MOT, but we should be able to roll it out to other European tests as well, the one that I mentioned at the start. Hopefully, if you've enjoyed it, you can hit subscribe up here if you haven't subscribed already. Maybe like down below as well. But for now, thanks for watching and see you on the next one.